Okay, now it's getting creepy. Is this some new cult? Or is he really trying to con me here? He's also contradicting himself again. The Tiger who appeared in 2000 said he traveled back in time to retrieve technology lost in World War III. Yet this guy is saying he came to prevent the creation of the dystopia ruled by CERN. This guy might be an imposter. I'm fed up. So I quit replying. But just as I'm about to put away my phone. Yeah. Another mail comes. Okay, let me interact with this. Because otherwise, there's a chance that Rintaro would miss this email, and we don't want that. Kyoma, I want you to be the Messiah. If the same thing happens to you again, please contact me once more. That moment will prove that you are the Messiah. Well, the thing is... Actually, I was about to say that if we were to change role lines, then this conversation would not have happened before, but no. Actually, like, these conversations, as long as we go into the future, will still continue to happen. Unless we change something, like, we change something, we go into a different role line to a point where these conversations never happen, in which case we need to avoid that. But otherwise, as long as we do, like, the right changes, with the phone wave and all that, if we go into a different role line, we can basically continue these conversations just fine. Like, these conversations should still happen in, like, the future world lines as long as we don't do anything stupid. I think. It raises the hairs on the back of my neck. What is this? Fear? Disgust? I don't know, but something is very wrong. But bottom line, yeah, we can contact him once more if something like this happens. Messiah. Uh-oh. You know what this means? This is activating Rintaro's Chinubio cells. His 2 Chinubio neurons inside his mind. Messiah. Oh, I like the idea of that. Messiah, in Christianity, a title for Jesus Christ. One who brings salvation to mankind. One who rescues others from peril. Salvation, deliverance from pain and suffering. From Kojian Dictionary.
John Titor は実にバカだな.
I scream at the absurdity. Darwin continues to give me exasperated stares, but I ignore him.
この俺がメシアだと? 勘弁してもらいたいものだ。人類を救済するなどくだらないにも程がある。俺はメシアとは正反対の資質を持つ狂気のマッドサイエンティスト法院京馬であり、幾多の修羅場をかいくぐり、長年機関から逃れ続けてきたのだ。
I guess it makes sense. Because, okay, I was thinking that that would stimulate Rintaro, that he would like that, but I think that when it comes to Chinubio, it's more so a bringer of chaos rather than like feeling a sense of importance that I am better than you, I am the Lord, I can do whatever, I am a god that can do both bad things and good things. No, Chinubio is specifically about like the chaos and the bad things and all that, so...
そんな俺が望むのは混沌。権力者を倒せば平和が訪れるとでも思っているのか。答えは否。断じて否だ。そんな夢物語を信じている脳みそがお花畑な奴にはそのまま死ねと忠告してやろう。権力の破壊の後に始まるのは秩序なき混乱なのだ。
あのさ、マキセ氏、オカリンは一体どうしちゃったんだぜ。
さあ、数時間前までジョン・タイターと熱心にメールしてたと思ったら急に静かになって、で30分くらい前からこんな状態。
なんか今日のオカリンって全体的にヤバくね。
同意するわ。
聞け、そこのラボメン2人、これよりオペレーションウルドを再開する。
マジで？下に店長まだいるけど？
案ずるな。どうせブラウン管工房はそろそろ閉店の時間だ。
夜は電話レンジが作動しないはずでしょ。
やってみる価値はある。検証するのだ。何時まで電話レンジカッコ仮の作動を確認できるかをな。
True. I mean, does it have to be like 6 p.m.? Not 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. Can we go further than that?
と同時に、ダル、それにクリスティーナ、お前たちには D メールによって過去を変えてもらう。
過去を？
I still don't believe in the many roads interpretation or Tyler's attractor field theory. Actually, I'm starting to doubt them more and more. If we want to know how the road works, we'll have to figure it out ourselves. And to do that, we need to experiment. One thing I'm sure of is that the mass disappearance in Akiba is related to demons somehow, as is the strange disconnect between my memories and everyone else's. According to Tyler, I have a supernatural power, the one I call a raiding Steiner. My doubts about Tyler's veracity aside, I do need to determine if I'm indeed the only person who keeps his memories from the past changes. Which, I guess it means that the others would have to try. Even then, I don't think that we would be able to notice that because their consciousness would be sent to a different row line. Unless we would do this. Like, Rintaro as well as the second person, whether it's Chris or Daro or whatever, would have to do the sending of the D-mail at the same time so that they both go to the exact same road line together, maybe. If that's even possible, I don't know. But if it is possible, then that would prove that it isn't just Rintaro who has this sudden power. Like, we would need to follow that second person to the next road line in order to see if it affects other people. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to tell, I think.
好きなように過去を変えろ。ただし、なるべくわかりやすい形でだ。
Daro's eyes wander to the ceiling in thought. Next to him, Kurisu shrugs her shoulders and starts gathering her things.
私は帰る。今日の実験結果は明日レポートで見せて。
待
て!
When I grab her by the shoulder, Kurisu nearly topples over.
何すんのよ。
そのレポートは誰が書くのだ？
岡部に決まってるでしょ。作戦立案者なんだから。被験者自身も実験中の書簡なんかを書いておいてくれるとなおいいけど。
Kurisu glances at Daro.
過去改変には興味がないのか？あれほど実験に前向きだったではないか。
あんたね、昼間のことをもうきれいさっぱり忘れたわけ？私は反対した。
だが実験が始まってからは乗り気だった。文句一つ言わず付き合った。
妄想を垂れ流さないで。
I twist my lips into a grin.
客観的に慣れていないぞ、クリスティ・セレセブよ。
いちいち言い直すのよ。
実験はすでに一度行われた。この俺が過去を改変した。
That's right. Kristina Selepsev zombie.
わあ、オカリン、抜け駆け行くない。
そうではない。過去を改変した結果、お前たちは改変前の一部の記憶を失ったのだ。
今日の昼間のこと？ロト6がどうとか急に言い出したけど。
そうだ。
I explained what happened earlier this afternoon.
それはひょっとしてギャグで言っているのか？
本気だ。
マジっすか？
Jesus. Okay. Mayuri? my issue won the magazine sweepstakes once. Amazing, huh? You know the hero of Gunbun, Setsuri? I won an autograph from his voice actor. Oh, that's lovely. I can assume Gunbun is Gundam. Setsuri. Is he from the latest Gundam? I haven't seen it. The original is the best. You're still reading anime magazines? You are a true otaku. Well, I never knew Mighty was a voice actor otaku. You know what, sure, let's just send a reply to that one. Oh, that was a random email, I guess. One good look at my face and Daru seems to understand I'm not joking. Kurisu, on the other hand, has a sour look. Well, she's always like that. So, you cannot even tell the difference sometimes. Why did everyone else lose their memories? Actually, did everyone else lose their memories? In order to find out, I need to perform the same experiment.
OK! 僕一つどうしても変えたい過去があるんだよね。
Dara is quick to adapt, as always. Let me guess, it's something perverted? We've known each other for a long time. He trusts me implicitly. Or maybe he's just being faithful to his desires. Or he's humoring you.
なんだダイエットしろと1年前の自分に送るのか
そんなメール来てもダイエットなんかしないし。
Daru tells me he wants to change the events of the Faris Cup held at Mei Queen plus Nyan at the Power of Two a few days ago. On that day, Daru got insta-killed by Faris in a Raidnet Axis Battlers match. Alright.
その結果を覆そうと
Alright, to impress a girl, I guess.
フェイリスタンの作戦はほぼ完璧に覚えてるんで、その裏をつこうってことだよ。うわぁ、僕って頭良くね？
I mean, if you win instead of... wait, hold on a second. Well, the idea is that we got the information about IBN from Mayuri, who got the information from Fares, so whether Rintaro wins the cup or Daru wins, would that make even that much of a difference? I don't know, I don't think so. Fares is probably too good for that to work. She'll just counter his counter strategy. I mean that too.
まあいいダルよ D メールを送る準備を
よーし、僕頑張っちゃうぞ。
Daru hunches over and starts typing out the mail, leaving me to input the forwarding address into the phone wave, named set of the change. Alright. I sit in front of the X68000 and take a look at my watch. It's 6:55 p.m. No way to know why the phone wave, named set of the change, will operate at this hour. Well, time to experiment. We haven't figured out the exact window yet.
あんた自身はどう考えてるの？記憶が継続してることについて。
しつこいぞゾンビの異名は伊達ではないというわけか
意味がわからない。
ゾンビは死してなお人に襲いかかってくる実にしつこいのだ
冗談はやめて。こっちは本気で話してるんだけど。
Kurisu's glare is scarier than usual. I might have wit myself a little there. Ugh.
俺は D メールの送信先が鍵だと考えているすなわち未来からのメールを受け取った人間その人間だけは過去改変の影響を受けないかもしれない
I don't know. I mean, the last time that, well, not last time, but the first time that happened, when Kurisu died, it is Daru who received that mail from Rintaro. Rintaro was not the recipient of that. Well, actually, because we sent that email to Daru about Kurisu's death, but I don't... Wait, I don't see... Wait, where's the message that we sent to Daru about that? Huh. Wait, did that message that we sent to Daru on the day of Kurisu's death disappear as well? Huh? Wait, why is this mail empty here? Huh, this is weird. Okay, whatever. Actually, that hypothesis doesn't explain the mass disappearance in Akihabara. Of course, I still don't have concrete proof that the mass disappearance incident was related to Demo. It more than likely was. We'll never know unless we experiment.
ダルの実験が終わったら、次はお前に D メールを送ってもらう。内容について考えておいてくれ。
嫌よ。
Kurisu replies emphatically.
私は送らない。
怖いのか？
そういう問題じゃない。
ならば、タイムパラドックスのことを気にしているのか？
それもあるけど、どっちかっていうと個人的なポリシ
ー。A policy?
過去を変えるなんて卑怯な感じがするから。私がこれまでに蓄積してきた人生はたかだか18年だけど、それでもその記憶を改変なんてしたくない。
なるほど。今の自分は完璧であり不満はなく、だから変えたくないと？
なんでそうなる？これまでの自分を否定したくないの。たとえ失敗ばかりだったとしても、それを含めて今の自分があるんだから。
Fuck that noise. I would change my past.
電話レンジカッコ仮が完全に問題を解決して実用化されても使う気はないと？ジョン・タイターがタイムマシンを好きに使っていいと仮に言ってきても、どの時代に飛ぶ気もないと？青い猫型ロボットが机の引き出しから出てきてもそれを使わないと？
Kurisu nods firmly.
使わないわ。
だが実験は大好き。そうだな。
好きで悪いか？
すなわち自分は高めの見物を決め、他人を実験台にしてほくそ笑む。実にマッドなサイエンティストだ。
あんたね。
できたお。
Kurisu stalks towards me, but is pushed aside by Daro, who presents his phone with a triumphant grin. I take a look. At Fire's Cup, enemy setup, VLVVLVLL, alright?
さっぱり意味がわからない。
Me neither.
フェイリスタンのカードの配置だお。見ればわかるだろ上皇。オカリンたちが疎いだけ。
Well, whatever. Preparations are complete. If this works, the mail will arrive at Daru's phone 52 hours ago. Alright. The discharge phenomenon occurs normally. I close my eyes to shield them from the lightning and sparks. The email was sent. Daru should have received it 2 days ago. However...
そのことをなんで俺は覚えている？
When I sent a email earlier this afternoon, everyone else forgot all about it. If Daru's email changed the past, then the present should have changed too. Daru should be the only one who remembers that he sent the email.
過去変わった？
Daru looks around in confusion.
ちょっと待て。誰も覚えているんだな。
え？何が？
今 D メールを送ったことだ。
Daru nods. Then I turn to Kurisu. She answers before I ask.
覚えてるに決まってるでしょ。何バカなこと言って。あ、そうか。岡部がさっき言ってたことが正しいなら、私とあんたは過去が変えられた記憶はないはず。
ダル、お前フェイリス杯でフェイリスに勝てたのか？
わかんねえ。
勝てたらフェイリスの手料理とか言っていたはずだ。それは食べられたのか？手料理とは何だった？
わかんねえ。しょぼーん。
Yep, I checked out his send history. As expected, the email he just sent isn't there. Alright, so this is another case where apparently like the change was not too drastic for us to like be sent like in the past, or Daro to be sent in the past, or Daro was sent in the past and this is the current Daro that keeps going into the future, but at that point the Daro was sent in the past and into a different timeline where he did get like the home cooking. Now we lost a part of Daro, I guess. Marie-chan's obsessed with this anime called Rainet, so I rented it to see what it was about. I don't usually watch anime, and when I do, I prefer romance. But I found this anime to be pretty deep, even though it's aimed at children. I was surprised. P.S. I also engrossed in Rainet, I couldn't do any practice swings with Samidare. I'm sorry. Oh, Lukako. Again? Missing those Samidare swings or whatever. Oh. Attachments? What's this? On to the future, Rainet formation. Completely engrossed by their discussion, Kirari and Tamaro raise their voices. Just what sort of person is Kakeru? Kakeru is actually a warrior who protects the order of the internet. A net guardian. Kirari and Tamaro wanted to tell their friends how cool that was, but Kakeru forbade them due to the risk that he may have to fight with the culprit. At that time, they received news that a mystery hacker, Beesman, has attacked an online game server. Kakeru immediately challenges him using Nagaya-san's newly made Rainet card and a unique browser. Oh, fuck it. Okay. The first use of a new Rainet card, despite his lack of experience, Kakeru successfully casts his boot spell. Kick out of the server, but just when Kakeru thinks he has easily won against a cracker, Beesman, who has complete control of the game server, overwrites the game system, sitting Kakeru deep within the game's loop dungeon. Kakeru is in danger! At that moment, somehow Kirari and Tamaru also server dive. They came to save Kakeru. Furthermore, these two are well versed in this game. As game players, they couldn't forgive the hacker who had taken over the server and toyed with the game players, so I decided to join forces with Kakeru. With their magnificent assistance and Kakeru's shoot ability, they successfully defeat Beesman. And when they do, suddenly an unknown chat window opens on their monitor. It's a signal from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. By any chance, are they here to praise us? They think in delight, but the police turn to them and say, "You're under arrest." Okay. What is this? Oh, more? Oh boy. Oh wait, no, this is actually the same. Okay. Okay. Now you hooked on Rainet? Around me is buying me into this Rainet craze. How can it be so popular? Don't tell me it's an organization plot. That's your problem right there. You can't waste your time with romance fluff. If you have that much free time, practice with Samidare. Nah, let's just reply to this, I guess. Alright. I do, however, find the email in his inbox. He received it 2 days ago, just like we wanted. This is the same thing that happened when I sent my email.
もしかして過去は変わってないんじゃないの?
Or it changed for a different role line, I guess.
ちょっとマユシに電話してみる。
He's the one who changed the past, yet he doesn't remember what happened after the change. That's odd.
あ、マユシ、まだバイト中だよね。あのさ、悪いんだけどフェイリスタンはそこにいる？うん、いるんだね。じゃあさ、ちょっと聞いてほしいんだけど、僕ってこの前のフェイリス杯でフェイリスタンに勝ったっけ？負けたっけ？え？負けた？誰が？フェイリスタンが？僕が？あ、そう。瞬殺？そう。わかったお。
Daru's shoulders droop as he hangs up the phone.
その様子だと過去は変えられなかったみたいね。
なんで？オカリンは変えられたんしょ？
橋田が送った勝つための方法って必勝法じゃないせいじゃない？有利になるってだけで。
I had the same thought. Okay, well, in that case, let's try something a little bit more risque. Kind of like the lottery, but since we already done that, we're not gonna be... We would have to wait for like another week or something for us to use like the lotto, so we need something insane quality of changing lives, I guess. Faris is supposedly a world-class player. Daru's time travel cheat may not have been enough. Although, like if I'm to think about it, yeah, we sent the number in the past. It's not necessarily that it will 100% change life in a drastic way to a point where Rintaro was sent in the past himself as well in that other world line. Because Lukako, like even with 700 million yen or whatever it was, like second place wasn't that great. But Lukako changed the numbers in the last second and he only got like 5,000 yen. So it's not necessarily that it led to a like a drastic change in life that Rintaro was necessary to be sent in the past as well. Maybe it's the potential for a drastic change in life? Even if it didn't change to a drastic like change in life, what with Lukako's change of numbers? Is it like the potential that it could induce? Or maybe it's not the importance of the demon that was sent. I don't know.
最終的にフェイリスさんが橋田に勝ったから過去は変わらなかった。
そうだけどさ、ゲームの過程は変わるじゃん。
たかがその程度ではダイバージェンスは揺らがないということかもな。
岡部が言うようにもっと分かりやすく過去が変わったって確かめられる改変にしないと実験の意味がない。
True.
あ、いえ、別にこの実験に賛成ってわけじゃないけど。
Maybe it's a matter of yeah, cause what she said right over here. You need to make a change that's easier to observe. Maybe not necessarily easier to observe by us, but something that is observable by the world. Because when somebody wins the lottery, people of the world are gonna know who they are, right? I assume. Unless not. But I don't know how a lottery works, if the winners are actually announced or not. I would assume not, but in the assumption that the winners are known, Lukako would be on the list publicly. Therefore, a lot of people around the world would know that Lukako won the lottery. So, would it be dependent on how observable in the world would be? Like, if it's a change in the past that is only known by us three, it wouldn't make like much of a difference. But if it is a change that is observed by the entire world, like, oh, you started a war, or we robbed a bank or something like that, that would make like a complete change. Maybe?
いや、まだだ。まだ終わらんよ。
Daru starts typing another mail. In that sense, it's not necessarily like a matter of how grave that change in the past would be, like how chaotic it would be, because there are, like, you can be observed in a good way and in a bad way. You could either make a change in the past that would lead to people robbing a bank, which would be bad, which would bring chaos. Well, you could also bring like good change to the world, like, oh, you sent a D-mail in the past that will lead to this one person winning like the global, like, I don't know, like global peace award or something like that, which would be good. So I don't know, Not sure if it's also dependent on morality.
もう一度別のアドバイスを過去の僕に送ってみる。今度はもっと的確にフェリスタンに本気で勝てるようなアドバイスだを。
Nah, I don't think that's gonna do like much of a difference.
そんなにも勝ちたいのか。
むしろそれほどまでにフェイリスの手料理を食べたいのだろ
う。オカリンの答えでファイナルアンサ
ー。You weak individual. That writes another demo. I don't bother checking what it says. I won't understand anyway. We activate the phone wave, name set up to change, and send the mail through, just like before.
Oh?
Nothing happens. No discharge. Oh, okay. It usually happens 10 to 20 seconds after pushing the start button. The timer counts down to 0 without incident. Okay.
時間切れ？
I mean, did you get like any email in your phone, Daru?
おそらくな。
なんだよ。せっかく素晴らしいアドバイス書いたのに。
やむを得ない。実験は明日に持ち越しだ。
I guess. So what time is it right now? I checked the clock. It's just past 7 p.m. Looks like that's the cutoff.
昨日ホテルに帰ってからずっと考えてた。この電話レンジはどういう原理で時間移動を可能にさせているのか。
LHC と似たことが起きているのだよ。お前は言ったはずだ。LHC は巨大な電子レンジだと。
Yeah. And we did mention something about like the LHC having this one thing that I completely forgot the name of. But I did talk about this, that maybe there's something equivalent to that inside the microwave somehow. Like, it's related to that video that we watched on the video site with like some platform hanging in the air by the crane that is used in the AHC.
電子レンジが LHC と同等の機能を持ってたら、日本は一家に一台ブラックホールになるわね。
Imagine.
それは日本沈没ってレベルじゃねえぞ。
セルンがあまりに簡単にカーブラックホールを作ってるように見えるから感覚が麻痺してるけど、そもそもブラックホールなんて人工的に作れるものじゃないし、とんでもないリスクのある代物だし、家庭の電子レンジがブラックホールを作れると思う方がどうかしてる。
Tyler's time machine is small enough to fit inside a car, and it makes black holes. Well, that's what he said at least. Now that I'm a little skeptical of Tyler, I don't feel like bringing it up.
一つ言えるのは、電子レンジ単体じゃブラックホールは作れないということ。この電子レンジに何かが干渉して電子を注入してきているのは間違いない。
An outside source of electrons. What could that be?
さて、私は帰るから。これ以上むさ苦しい男どもの巣にはいられないんで。
You know, imagine if somewhere around the neighborhood right over here, hell, maybe like near this apartment, there is actually like a super duper secret laboratory that is highly advanced that someone owns, who is doing like experiments, and somehow we connected this microwave to to the laboratory next door somehow. I don't know. In fact, I do have to wonder if Suzu has anything to do with that. Kinda sus that she ends up being a part-timer like here while we're doing these experiments. Maybe she lives around here.
また明日レポートまとめといてね。
Kurisa flicks off her lab coat and hurries out the door. She was serious about her report?
ふむ、マキセ氏の着ていた白衣か。どれ？
Alright, Daru, just put it down and just, I don't know, go back to working on those reports that we found from the IBM. I swear to God. As Daru reaches for the lab coat to smell Kurisa's lingering fragrance, I grab him by the neck and pull down hard. Daru! Come on.
ではないバカが。そんなくだらないことをしている暇があったら、明日の実験でどう過去を改変するか考えておけ。
There wasn't anything to do after Kurisu left. I tried operating the phone wave, the instant of the change, a couple more times before I went to sleep, but the discharge phenomenon simply would not occur. Now it's the next morning, and I'm sitting on a bench in front of the Brown Tube workshop. It's still early, but it's already blazing hot. It's as if I'm baking in the sun. Sweat is dripping off my chin. We're supposed to be experimenting today, but not a single lab mem has arrived yet. After waiting impatiently for a while, the first person I see is... Suzuha?
Oh, ずいぶん暇そうだな、岡部。
おはようございます、おかりんおじさん。
Hello there, Tenoji. Hello there, little one. The Tenoji pair come riding on a moped.
俺はおじさんではない。兄様と呼べ。
お父さん、どうしよう。
岡部、おめえうちの娘に何をふざけたことを吹き込んでやがる。
教育がなっていないのではないですか、ミスター・ブラウン。その子が俺のことをおじさん呼ばわりするのを何とかしてください。
Rintaro, you sure have the balls sometimes, I swear.
いいだろ別に。器の小さい野郎だな。なえ、こんな野郎の言うこと聞かなくていいからな。
You know, you would think that Rintaro would be afraid 24/7 of this guy, but no, sometimes he has the chutzpah, I guess. Even though he barks a lot, but no bite, that's for sure. The manager parks his moped and quickly enters the store. Sister Brown's about to follow him when... She turns her attention toward the end of the street and instantly brightens up. I follow her gaze and see Mayuri walking this way.
おかり、おはよ
Ohio, little one. Alright, let's see. Assistant? Oh, it's Kurisu. Have we written that report yet? For your information, I was joking yesterday. If you blow this off, then you have no right to call yourself a scientist. Maybe this is too much for a freshman like you to understand. But writing papers is part of being a scientist. Let lesser men worry about such things. I have inventions to build and discoveries to make. I am not a mere scientist. I am an insane math scientist. If you are so confident in your superiority, then show me your power. I'll just go with this, I guess. I don't know. Not that much of a difference between these replies, so why not?
まゆりお姉ちゃん。
Nae runs up to Mayuri with a happy smile. And without breaking stride, she jumps into Mayuri's chest.
なえちゃん、おはよう。おはよ
They get along so well that you'd think they were sisters. Mayuri has the ability to get along with anyone, so it's no surprise. Nae avoids me and Taro, but she adores Mayuri and always goes for a flying hug whenever she gets a chance. Daru sometimes complains about that. What a lucky girl. I wish I could jump into Mayushi's chest like that. No, wait. Maybe it'd be better to have Naetan jump into my chest. This internal debate went on for hours.
う。なえちゃんにこれあげる。はい、どうぞ。
Mayuri takes some candy out of her convenience store bag and gives it to Nae.
うわー、ありがと
She offers me some, which I silently accept.
そこに座って何してるの？
ラボメンが全員集まるのを待っているのだ。
オカリンおじさんは暇なの？
Yeah, he's slacking off on his report. Why, chipmunk, do you have to be so blunt? What it is, I'll teach you to respect me.
違うよなえちゃん。ね、オカリンはきっとなんか難しいことを考えてるんだよ。ああ、そうなんだ。
Good job, Mayuri.
オカリン、オカリン。この時間だと電話レンジちゃんはビリビリしないんだよね。じゃあね、焼きそばパンをチンしてもいいかな？
Yeah, sure thing.
ドアの部分を取っ払ったから温めるのは無理だ。
Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn. Wait, so we cannot make like any juicy chicken number one?
そうだった。がっかりだよ。ちなみにね、オカリンは朝ごはん食べた？
いや。
だったら一緒に食べる？焼きそばパンは冷たいまま食べるとして、ラーメン缶なら湯煎で温められるし。
Ramen packaged in a can like a drink, sold in vending machines. Unlike regular ramen, the noodles are made of cognac.
なえちゃんも食べる？朝ごはん食べてきた。そっか。
Naya waves, then heads back inside the Brown Tube workshop. Lured by the prospect of canned ramen, I go inside lab with Mayuri. The stagnant air makes the room hotter than outside. It doesn't improve much even after we open the window and turn on the fan.
ダル君とクリスちゃん、まだ来ないのかな？
ああ、ラボメンとしての自覚が足りんな。
Just then, the sound of a breaking bicycle comes from downstairs. When I look out the window, I see part-time warrior arriving. She immediately notices me, looks up, and waves.
チース。トゥットゥルー、すずさん。椎名まゆり、トゥットゥルー。
And they seem to have hit it off. Like I said, Mayuri gets along with everyone.
岡部倫太郎、タイターはなんて？
さあな。
I thought I dodged the question, but part-time warrior is persistent.
やる気ないな。聞いたんでしょ？
聞いたが、奴の言うことが正しいかわからなくなった。
そうなの？どの辺が？
Why is she so flustered?
そうか。あのバイト戦士め、タイターオタか。
I guess they're the no-taco for everything.
クリスちゃんだ。
Mayuri leans out the window to wave her hand. Kurisu is walking towards the lab. That reminds me, doesn't part-time warrior have something against Kurisu? I look at Suzuha. Her expression has changed dramatically. Now she's staring at Kurisu in complete silence. She doesn't move a muscle. It's like she's trying to start a fight with her glare. Kurisu's pretty stubborn too, so she meets Suzuha's glare for glare. The two of them exchange a word or two in front of the building. For a second, I'm worried that they may start throwing punches, but that doesn't happen.
クリスちゃん、トゥットゥルー。
グッモーニング。
下のバイトと何を話していたんだ？
Kurisu shrugs her shoulders.
別に大したことは、言いたいことがあるならはっきり言えって。
I don't think that's nothing. She's looking at it and lead to blows.
向こうは何と？
何も。 悔しそうにうなってるだけだった。一体何なのかしら。
マキセ氏の人気に嫉妬してるに決まってるじゃん、上皇。
Daru burst into the lab.
本来なら私がラボメンナンバー004になって楽しくみんなと青春する予定だったのに悔しいみたいな。3次元は恐ろしい。
ラボメンナンバーなんて好きなだけ譲るけど。
なんだと。ラボメンナンバーは某国において数千万円というレートで違法に取引されるほどの貴重な資格なのだぞ。
Are you sure about that?
パスポートじゃあるまいし。そもそも某国ってどこだおい。
みんな仲良くいられる方がね、マユシはいい
Well, I don't really care about their little quarrel anyway. Only one thing interests me now. The mystery of the email. Alright. We begin experimenting immediately. Even though it's still morning, the electrical discharge occurs on demand. Okay. Things look favorable to me. That reminds me, we haven't talked to Mr. Brown yet. Maybe we should come up with an excuse first. To be honest though, I don't care what he thinks. For we are at war. War against the organization and CERN, the dark powers that rule the world of the shadows.
安西先生、フェイリスタンの手料理が食べたいです。
Are we still on about that? The coach from a famous basketball manga. On the internet, posters sometimes express a desperate desire by quoting the manga like, "So, Anzai sensei, I'm on 2." And our oft-quoted line, this one spoken by Anzai sensei, is, "If you give up, it's game over." Okay.
諦めたらそこで試合終了だよ。
Unfortunately, Daru's second email fails to change the past. Okay, what now? Akihabara is such a strange town. Everywhere I look, I see drawings of cute girls. Some of them even have their breasts fully exposed, which startled me. Coming here has been a real culture shock. It's amazing how peaceful Japan is. Ooh, unfortunately, Moe has become the symbol of Akihabara and the chaos that rules here. Get used to it. I can imagine how that would shock someone who isn't prepared. I agree. It's all because of the organization's efforts to stupidify Japan. Okay. Might as well reply to this, I guess. Why not? You know, it's kind of weird that these... well, it's not just that they come at such so late. But more importantly, it comes at such random moments. Like, I'm getting the demon right now as we are doing the experiments. I mean, Jesus Christ. I get the feeling right net matches are difficult to cheat your way out of like this. Not to mention we are limited to 36 bytes of text. Looks like we have to give up on Daru. He's gone to drown his sorrows in the internet. Alright, so who do we experiment on? From the look on Koyusa's face, I don't think she's willing to change her policy. Mayuri? That leaves only one candidate.
マユリよ、次はお前に過去を変えてもらおう。
I mean, do you want anything in particular?
マユシ、変えてもいいの？
Sure, why not?
でもね、過去を変えるって何を変えればいいのかな。
Mayuri looks stumped as she slurps her canned ramen. I know I was thinking for a split second maybe you have some regrets that you would want change, but I don't think that she has the capacity to think of regrets.
あ、それじゃあね、こういうのはどうかな。ルカ君にマユシーのコスを着てもらえるように過去を変えるの。
I mean, is it really any different from the usual?
どうやって？
ルカ君にメールを送るとかだよ。
Okay. I don't think a simple request is going to change the past. And we need something a little bit more spicy. Something a little bit more, I don't know, important, I
もっと
guess.
簡単で分かりやすいものはないのか？
She slips more ramen.
そのラーメン缶を使おう。
Looks like I'm the only one with ideas.
1時間前のマユリに D メールを送るのだ。今日はおでん缶が食べたいとな。
そんな誘導に乗るほど単純なことじゃない気が。
それね、すごくいいかも。
え？
今日もね、自動販売機の前で10分くらい迷っちゃったんだよ。おでん缶にしようかな、ラーメン缶にしようかなって。
つまり後押しがあれば、マユリは必然的におでん缶を食べたくなるというわけだな。よし、それで行くぞ。
わかった。じゃあ過去を変える前にラーメン全部食べとかないと。
Mayuri starts shoveling the ramen into her mouth.
食べておかないとどうなるの？
もったいないもん。
あ、そうね。
Kurisu clearly doesn't know what to say. Mayuri really is a ditz. I'm used to it by now, of course. I get the phone wave needs to do the change, prepped for the email. The content on Mayuri's mail is simple enough. Canned Odin, piping hot, and delicious. Leashy. I just hope it actually works. We wait for Mayuri to finish eating her canned ramen, then activate the phone wave needs to do the change. To send it 1 hour back, we input 1. In other words, we set the microwave for only 1 second. I wonder if the discharge phenomenon will occur in such a short span of time. Yeah, that's true. As far as I'm aware, we haven't done like 1 hour in the past, I guess. That's something we'll see. That's something else we'll learn from this experiment.
電話レンジカッコ仮起動。
メールまだ送れてないよ。
There wasn't enough time to blink.
1秒じゃ放電現象は起きないか。データ通りだけど貴重な実証データが取れた。
Okay.
これって例えば事前に暖気みたいなことしたらどうなるん？
暖気？
つまりさ、1秒じゃ放電現象は起きないわけしよ。だから事前にメールを送らずに30秒ぐらいレンジ動かしとくんだお。その後間を置かずにタイマー1秒でもう一度動かす。そしたら1秒でも放電現象起きそうじゃね？
根拠は？
ネス。
マユリよ、もっと他に何かないのか？
I mean, that is interesting, I guess. If there is something inside the phone wave that needs a little bit of prep time in order to send something. Because if you send it for like 120 hours, that is enough to prep it and send the email in the past.
じゃあ昨日買ったおにぎりの具を違うものにするとか。
お前は昨日食べたおにぎりの具の種類を覚えているのか？
おかか。
即答？
Impressive.
だからね、おかかを明太子にしようよ。
Maybe we should find another test subject. Something is telling me we're going to have to look outside the lab. I go for a walk to clear my head. Yeah, feels like we've been in that laboratory for like an eternity. In my case, that is. Jesus. After lunch at King Burger, I grab a coffee at the Starbucks on the first floor of Yodobashi. Okay. Starbucks, a coffee shop chain, a popular fast food burger chain in America. Only a few franchises exist in Japan. I left Mayuri and the others at the lab. I need some time to get my thoughts in order. I recall what happened when I sent myself the Lotto of 6 numbers. The moment I sent that email, I felt a strong tremor, and then the world as I knew it changed slightly. The fact that I had sent the email had been undone. I know that because it had disappeared from my sent history. However, it was in my inbox. The mail had definitely reached the past. What does this mean? The mail was received but never sent. Isn't that a time paradox? Is that the reason why everyone else lost their memories? Why did that happen? The butterfly effect? That's not an answer. Changing the past changed the world. Tyler spoke of divergence. When divergence changes, are people's memories reconstructed to match the new world line? And how come I remember the previous world line even after the past changes? My deliberations are interrupted by an incoming mail. The thing is, because I talked about this before, but like there needs to be a cause and effect. If Rintaro has knowledge of numbers, of winning numbers, then the cause should still be there, aka the email with the numbers. Even if we are talking about a reconstruction of the roll line to a point where maybe we wouldn't remember like the different, like the alternate roll line that we came from, which would be the reason why the email just got erased in the first place. There needs to be a cause for where Rintaro got that number from. Like it needs to exist there. So I don't really get it. Like, yeah, an explanation would be like a reconstruction of the road line in order for nobody to remember that such a thing existed. Well, I guess that is the explanation, that like it erases any traces of us going from a different road line. The reason why even the email was erased from the phone at that point. So I mean, then again, a cause for winning a lottery is would also be like the equivalent of, oh, I just fought those numbers. Like, I guess in that case, in order for the roll line to be reconstructed, it's not necessarily that the cause was erased, but rather the cause changed into something else. The new cause that the universe is trying to gaslight us into thinking is that Rintaro thought of those numbers himself. Not that he got those numbers from a different roll line. That's the universe trying to reconstruct the roll line in that fashion. It's not necessarily that the cause was erased, but the cause was changed into something else. Also, let me my deliberations are interrupted by an incoming mail. I don't have time for this. It's a mail, so I can just reply to it later. I concentrate on my coffee. Like, I'm trying to open up my phone, but apparently Rintaro is not gonna allow me this time. However, there. All these mails. No doubt about it. It's gotta be Kiryu Moeka, the male demon known as Shining Finger. How can she be so shy in real life and so persistent in email? There's something wrong with that woman. Okay. I sigh and open my mail reluctantly. Can I send the email too, please?
Nani?
Please reply. I am a lab man too, right? Pretty please. She wants to send the email? That reminds me. Yesterday I made Moeka lab man 005. That means she's qualified to participate in our experiments. I mean, sure, why not? Moeka seems serious, so she might meet my demands. Most importantly, all the other lab names are completely useless when it comes to emails. I still haven't been able to verify whether or not I can keep my memories if someone else changes the past.
いや、しかし。
You know, this is also like the thing though. Like, if we're experimenting on this in order to determine if we keep our memories or not, how would we be able to tell in the case that it is successful? We wouldn't be able to tell if our memories have changed, if our memories have been altered, and we wouldn't be able to know. So, Moeka works for an editorial company. In other words, she's related to the media. What if she sends an email and leaks the word of the time machine? We'd be flooded by press. Gone will be the days of lurking in the shadows. My location will be exposed to the organization. Of course, sooner or later we are going to have to announce our findings to the world. But in that case, I'd rather choose a national newspaper or TV network to cover the event, rather than some shady magazine. That way, it will spread faster throughout Japan. Nay, the world! Either way, something tells me it's better not to go public through Moeka. However, Moeka is a labman. Yesterday, we told her everything about the phone wave, thanks to the change, and emails. Moreover, we made her one of us. It was necessary to buy her silence. Realizing that I have no reason to deny Moeka her request, I put my phone to my ear.
俺だ。ああ、少しばかり迷っている。何？声でわかるだと？叶わないな。電話レンジカッコ仮の実験にシャイニングフィンガーを引き入れるかどうかについて。バカな！あの女を生贄に捧げろというのか。確かに世界に混沌をもたらすためなら犠牲はやむを得ない覚悟だが、いや問題ない。むしろ迷っていた俺が情けない。マッドサイエンティスト失格かもしれんな。ああ、これは俺にとってむしろ典型とも言える申し出。まさにシュタインズゲートの選択となるだろう。エルプサイコングルー。
Upside Konguru. It's decided. I type a reply to Moeka's mail. Alright, Moeka. Come to the lab. Indeed you are. That member 005. Shining Finger. Report to the lab at once. After sending it off, I hurry back to the lab. When I get back to the lab, Moeka is squatting at the bottom of the staircase. Since she's not sitting on the bench, I guess that crouching while holding her knees is this particular woman's favorite position. She's staring at her phone like usual. Once she notices me approaching, she slowly stands up. But she doesn't look at me.
ありがとう。
何がだ？
I know it's selfish, but I really need to send an email. You really need to?
別にわがままとは思っていない。むしろお前の申し出にこちらが感謝しているほどだ。
An interesting choice of words. What do you need to send the emails for? Once we enter the lab, I get all the lab mems to stop what they're doing, and then tell them about Moeka's situation.
いいと思います。萌香さんもラボメンだもんね。
Dad and Kurisu don't object either.
で、桐生氏はどんなメールを送るつもりなん？
俺からの要望としては、過去が変わったかどうか確かめることができるよう、シンプルで分かりやすい内容にしてもらいたい。
new mail. I'm sorry, there's one more thing. I want to keep my message secret. Okay, well in that case you're gonna have to tell us your message before we send it to me personally. Why does she have to explain every little thing with mail? No, more importantly,
内緒だとどういうことだ。
何？どうしたのよ。
it's private. It would be embarrassing if anyone knew, Moeka.
いや、そういう問題ではなかろ
Kurisu picks up my phone from beside me.
なるほど。気持ちはわからなくはないけど、これはあくまで実験だと割り切ってデータの収集を優先すべき。
ほう。珍しく意見が一致したな、上司よ。
別にあんたに同意したわけじゃない。データを収集しないと電話レンジの仕組みがいつまでたっても解明できないって思ったからよ。
でも女の子にはね、秘密がいっぱいあるのです。誰にも言えない秘密をね、自分だけに教えろゲヘヘって言ってるのと同じだよ。
くわ、まさかこれってセクハラになるん？
落ち着けダル。
Down boy! Down boy! I say as I hold the leash. I turn to my Yuri and Moeka, who appear to have formed some kind of mainstream girl alliance.
メールの内容にプライベートに深く関わることを書けと強制した覚えはない。
Kurisu nods firmly at my words. Looks like she doesn't intend to join the mainstream girl alliance.
私的な内容を送りたいにしても、今はまだ見送るべき。タイムパラドックスの問題も完全に解決されたわけじゃないし、もっと慎重に慎重を重ねないと。
私的な内容は NG。
少なくとも非公開にしたいという話は受け入れられないわ。あなたに悪意がなくてもメールの内容次第で時間軸に深刻な影響をもたらすかもしれないんだから。第三者にメールを見せて、その内容について問題ないか吟味すべきよ。
俺が言いたいことは全てジョシュが言ってくれた。そしてそうは言いつつも我らは実験を中止するつもりはない。
あんたの意見を代弁したわけじゃないから勘違いしないで。そもそも実験においてはプライバシーよりもデータが優先される。被験者になるならその覚悟は必要よ。
I mean, that's the reason Kurisu won't send an email herself.
そうなの？マユシーはね、さっきそんな覚悟せずに送ろうとしてたよ。ごめんね、クリスちゃん。
別に謝らなくても、責めてるわけじゃない。一般論を言っただけ。
I imagine some people might take issue with that statement, but I'll refrain from saying anything. I'd rather not get my head chewed off right now. Moeka's expression doesn't change. Same as always. I don't know what she's saying.
お前はすでにラボメンだ。俺たちを信用してもらわないと困る。プライベートな要件は後日にしてもらおう。もしできないというのならば、お前に見せてやらねばならなくなる。この俺、法王院京魔の中に眠るまがまがしき狂気の力をな。
Moeka is already typing on her phone. My threat was ineffectual, it seems. Can I see the emails you've sent so far? I want to use them as a reference. Okay.
着信履歴ならあるぞ。
送信履歴は？
ないというと語弊があるな。 送信履歴は消えてしまうのだ。
I confirmed that after I sent that email yesterday. Moeka was there, but she doesn't remember either. I don't need to see the history, and I'll show you the message before I send it. Is that okay? Looks like she understands. I showed the mail to Kurisu too.
萌香さん、無理しないでね。
Is that supposed to be encouragement? Mayuri sounds concerned for some reason.
じゃあさ、どんな内容を送るん？そもそもオカリンの言う簡単で分かりやすい過去改変ってハードル高すぎ。
何を言う。お前たちのレベルが低すぎるだけではないか。
案はある。
Moeka murmurs.
ほう、これは期待できそうだな。具体的に説明を頼む。
Moeka then invokes her power once more. Ultra fast typing. Power known as Shining Finger. About 4 days ago, I bought a new phone. But now that I've tried it, I think I should have stayed with the old one. So I want to use the email to tell myself not to buy a new phone. If we do that, the phone I'm holding will change, won't it?
シャイニングフィンガーは実に有能だな。まさにラボ面の鏡。
Alright. This should make it easy to tell whether the past has changed. Although, it looks like the free users members have no objections to Moeka's superior idea. Yeah, I mean, because whether she changes her phone or not, the end result should still be that she is gonna end up here. We look at Moeka's phone. It's purple and gaudy. And there's no strap. And it's not like the deco phones popular among mainstream women nowadays. Deco phones? Decorative? A cell phone with decorations on it. Primarily popular among young women. Swarovskis or rhinestones can be pasted on the phone's surface for decoration. Rhinestone? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
お、それって先月出たばっかの GG01 じゃん。
GG01？
最新機種だよ。確か液晶部分が着脱式でいろんなバリエーションのアタッチメントを選べるんだよね。
The screen is detachable?
今品薄でどこ行っても入荷待ちだけど、よく手に入ったな。
It's the most popular model, but she wants her old one back? I guess hardcore phone users have other concerns besides fashion.
では、指圧しよ
ねえねえ、どうして萌香さんのこと指圧師って呼ぶの？
それが、桐生萌香の力に、俺がつけた名だ。桐生萌香、お前は今後、先行の指圧師、すなわち、シャイニングフィンガーを名乗るがいい。
Moeka shakes her head expressionlessly.
何？嫌だというのか？能力面をつけてやったのに、何が気に入らないというのだ？
萌香さんはね、萌香さんだからだよ。それにね、指圧師さんじゃなくて編集プロダクションで働いてて。
眉氏、ネタにマジレス、かこ悪い。
ネタではない能力名だ。
くだらないこと言ってないで。準備するわよ。
Damn it. You're just an assistant. Don't boss us around.
ブラウン店長に何か言われたらどうするん？
ミスター・ブラウンごとき恐れるな。奴が怒鳴り込んできたら、この俺が蹴散らしてやる。
マジで？オカリンかっけー。そこにしびれる、憧れる。
Sure.
実は口だけだったりするんでしょう。
I'll be the adult and ignore Kurisu's insult. Moeka has already written her 36-byte mail. When I look at Moeka to see if she's ready, she nods faintly. We set the timer to 100 seconds. The email should arrive at Moeka's phone for 4 days ago, July 31st.
電話レンジカッコ仮起動。
About 50 seconds after activation, the discharge phenomenon occurs. I glance at Moeka. She nods grimly, an unusual show of emotion. And then she presses the button. No! Okay. The world twists into unrecognizable shapes, alright? I guess so. I guess that email has sent us as well into the next world line where her phone is going to be different. I see. The floor is shaking. Or is it me? My vision blurs and loses color. The world lurches. I struggle to keep my balance. As I brace myself against further shaking, I try to analyze what I'm experiencing. Okay, well, I guess my theory about how observable by the entire world changes the way that the email is sent is no longer the case, because I guess it doesn't matter how many people observe it. Like, it was just us 5 or 6 or something that knew of this change, and Rintaro was still sent into a different world line, so And yet, I felt it before. I remember. And this is what I felt right before the mass disappearance phenomenon. The shaking stops. Also, yeah, I guess this confirms that it isn't just Rintaro's phone that needs to be used in order for him to be sent to a different world line. Wait, hold on a second. So you're telling me that even if it's someone else's phone and all that, and it has something, and it is Moeka who did the change, Rintaro himself is the only one who gets sent in the wait, what? In that case, what makes Rintaro special that he is sent into a different world line as well? Because it's not just his phone and all that. Because you would think that, oh, it is Moeka who gets sent into a different world line where her phone changes. No, it's Rintaro. Unless Moeka is also sent into a different world line, and we're gonna be able to notice that we're gonna talk to Moeka and she notices the change as well. It's not as if she's gonna be unaware of things going on. It is, as I said before, that in order for us to determine that Rintaro is not the only one whose memory retains, we need to send Rintaro and the second person as well in the past in order to determine if the second person retains their memory or not. And we may be able to see if that's the case here. Let's see. I relax my body and look around. Has the past changed? Of course it has. That bizarre sensation just now was proof. I look around the room. The phone wave names up to the change, which should have about 90 seconds left on the timer, is silent. Taro's here. Mayuri's here. Kurisu's here. Where's Moeka?
指圧師はどこに行った？
Taro and Kurisu, who are discussing something in front of the X68000, look at me strangely. Ah. Again, this feeling of wrongness. It's the same as yesterday.
指圧師？
オカリン、日本語で OK。
I leave the development room and check the lounge, behind the sofa, in the dressing room, the bathroom, and the shower room. I look out the window at the street below, but Moeka is nowhere to be found. She's gone. No way. This is exactly what happened on the streets of Akiba. Why did she disappear? Cause Moeka came here this morning in order for her to want to send a demon in the past in regards to something more private. So, same thing should have happened here as well, except it didn't. In which case, maybe she didn't come here this morning because that something private that she was talking about had something to do with the phone. That, okay, she didn't change her phone, she's stuck with the old one, so she no longer needs to send the email in the past about that private thing. Maybe. Because I experimented on her? Where did she go? Did I erase her from history? Oh god, that would be quite scary. Did I banish her into the space between dimensions? I start quivering in horror at the magnitude of my error. In this, I step up to Mayuri, who's eating a banana. Mayuri, don't eat the banana. It has black holes in it. You're gonna get sucked into the black. Okay, I grab her shoulders and shake her.
Kiryu Moeka wa今の今までここにいただろ
I guess we should be thankful that we're not in a roll line where Moeka turned into a banana herself yet. Each time we go into a roll line, we risk to have Mayuri turn into a banana.
Kiryu Moeka da!
Daro and Kurisu give me strange looks as well.
それ誰？
聞いたことない。
Oops.
そんな
So I did erase Moeka's existence. Well, okay, let's not go that far, Rintaro. It's more so that it is possible that we drastically changed the past to a point where we didn't even have Moeka as a lab member. Wait, so you're telling me... Well, that would be quite a crazy idea, but hear me out. Is the entire reason why Moeka was so interested in the IBM 5100 and... Well, no, because the IBM 5100 is a completely separate thing. Well, actually, no, not really. The IBM 5100 is connected to the whole time traveling thing. Like the idea is that, is it possible that she wanted to find out about time traveling in the IBM 5100 in order to try to use the time machine just to change her phone? Like, are you saying that in this roll line she kept her old phone, therefore she doesn't need to try to find the IBM 5100 and be interested in the Rintaro and use the time machine? I mean, that would be quite crazy. No, that can't be. I won't accept that I killed her.
Okabe, まさかまた？
またってどういう意味だ？
昨日も似たようなことがあった。私たちの記憶にないことをあんたは覚えていた。なんだっけ？そうそう、リーディングしたいな。
Okay. Yeah, that's the name I gave this phenomenon. Or rather, to my ability to perceive it. When the roll line changes, everyone's memories are reconstructed to match. That's what John Titor said. But somehow I alone retain my memories even after the past changes. I named this power a reading Stein. You know, I am more and more aware that maybe it should be pronounced Steins Gate. But I always call it like Steins Gate in the past before starting the story and all that. And now that I'm thinking about it, saying it as Steins Gate and reading Steiner, it sounds kind of weird. Even if it accurately makes sense. To tell the truth, I just made it up out of thin air. But now that Moeka has disappeared, I want to believe that this power is real. It's only the memories of Moeka that disappeared, not Moeka herself. Yeah, that's true. But still, that's quite crazy. I need to contact Moeka. I need to make sure I didn't erase her very existence. Okay, well, we do have we do have Moeka's phone number, so we still have made contact with her, but I don't know her phone. The only way to contact her is by mail. Yeah, well, like we still, so in this role line, she's still interested in the IBM. She was still interested in the IBM 5100, but the question is that. Did she ever come here at our apartment? Cause if I remember correctly, at first she was interested in the IBM 5100. We found the IBM 5100. Moeka was interested in seeing the IBM 5100, and she came here and took pictures of it. And then through a slip of the tongue, if I remember, Daru, or was it Rintaro? I think Daru was slipped up that we were doing like time machine stuff, and then Moeka got interested in it, and because we slipped up that it was a slip of the tongue, Rintaro had no choice but to make her a lab mem. So is it a case of her coming here, like taking pictures of the IBM 5100 and then just going back home? Never having like any contact with Rintaro ever again, and thus, because we didn't do the slip up, we didn't have to make her like a lab mem, and thus nobody would remember. Well, Kurisu would not remember, but Daru would surely remember because he was here when Moeka came here for the IBM 5100. So we may be confronting with the idea, with the possibility that at least we didn't make her like a lab mem in this case. But then how does it correlate her changing her phone to Daru or Rintaro not doing the slip of the tongue thing with the time machine? Okay, maybe we should see. I sent her a message saying reply the second you read this email. Now all I can do is wait for her reply. Please reply.
オカリ大丈夫？顔真っ青だよ。
大丈夫だ。
In fact, I'm anything but fine. I'm fighting desperately to deny the possibility that I may have erased Moeka from existence.
助手よ。今の実験のこと、どの辺まで覚えている？
今、実験をしたことさえ覚えてない。たった今、あんたは D メールを送ったのね。
Okay, what was that D-mail about?
ああ。ただし、昨日とは少し状況が違う。D メールを送ったのは俺ではなく、桐生萌香だ。
And then she vanished into thin air. Which reminds me, when I sent the Lolo 6 mail yesterday, Daru teleported from the development room to the lounge. Moeka might not have disappeared. She probably just teleported somewhere. I hope that's it. In an attempt to calm myself down, I checked my phone's history for the mails Moeka and I exchanged. That's strange. The mails she sent me are there, up until the one I received on July 31st at 12:48. But after that, the dozens of mails I remember receiving from her are gone. Okay, let's check this in that case. Okay, so that's the last one. And what did we send her? Apology accepted. I'm looking for IBM too. I agree that we should exchange information. I'll let you know when I have something. You don't need to reply to this mail. Oh, okay, so... Oh, wait, hold on a second. Oh no, this is the one from today. Okay, so... Ooh, okay, so this we're talking about a case where we found the IBM 5100, but we did not tell Moeka like at all. So in that case, she never came here, which I guess it makes sense. In that case, Kurisu and Daro would not know about the Moeka. Interesting. Because of Moeka's change of phones, huh? Why? The email she sent to cancel the phone model exchange was set to arrive on July 31st. Did the time paradox erase Moeka from existence the instant she received the email? I shiver when I realize that I can't find any problems with that hypothesis. No way. It can't be. I mean, all her email said was, don't change phone models. That's harmless, right? But then, what caused Moeka to disappear from this room like that? Why does it look like Moeka vanished 4 days ago?
クリスティーナ、もし仮に D メールによってタイムパラドックスが発生したらどうなると思う？
わからない。タイムパラドックスを経験した人間は未だかつて一人もいないから。
以前世界が消えるというようなことを言っていなかったか？
あくまでそういう説もあると言っただけ。もしかしたら何も起きないかもしれないし、某映画みたいにパラドックスに対する歴史の修正が入るかもしれない。
Yeah, I mean, as far as human history goes, I don't think that anyone experienced the sensation of the world disappearing like that. Otherwise, I get the feeling that we would have noticed that by now.
ドクター・ホーキングは時間順序保護仮説でタイムパラドックスが起きる可能性の行為はそもそも実行不可能だとしてるし。
In quantum mechanics, a theory proposed by Stephen Hawking that states that time travel is impossible. Any attempt to travel through time will be prevented by quantum effects. Successful time travel requires infinite field energy, which is impossible to obtain. In other words, the laws of causality, and by extension, the chronology of timeline of the universe, are protected by quantum mechanics. Alright. So we have our theories.
あのね、マユシーはよくわかんないけど、今もマユシーやオカリンたちがちゃんとこうしておしゃべりできてるっていうことはね、きっとそのパラドックスは起きてないんだよ。萌香さんっていう人もね、マユシーは知らないけど、きっと大丈夫。
さすがマユシ、アホの子だね。
マユシーはアホの子じゃないよ。
That's a little bit much, though. But okay, so we went through like the inboxes and outboxes over here. Shining Finger does still exist. We have made contact with her. I said before that at the very least it seems that it has stopped when we found the IBM 5100, but we did not notify her of its existence and therefore to have her come here to see it. So we have that kind of conversation that has yet to happen, or you know, that's the cutting point. So I'm amazed that Mayuri and Daro can have such a carefree conversation despite all that's happened. They don't realize the gravity of the situation. Well, you might have erased someone's very existence. Unless, okay, that I actually wanted to also say this, that with that being said, I hope that this is not going to be a case where emails are going to start being erased, like, with time, because I was thinking that they would have been erased entirely by now. But remember, like last time when we checked like the phone when Rintaro himself got sent back in time because of the Lodo thing. At first we had like the mail with the Lodo numbers, but then eventually at some point it just disappeared. I wonder if it's a delay thing where even these kinds of mails are not gonna exist. In which case, yeah, at that point you would be afraid that maybe she did disappear. Like it's on a timer. Like things are slowly starting to become weirder and weirder. like, her emails are gonna start disappearing one by one. In fact, if Maika really has vanished, then that means the phone wave, instead of change, is also responsible for the mass disappearance phenomenon I witnessed in Akihabara. Okay, Rintaro, can you just look at the phone right over here and notice, oh, Shiny Finger, we have emails of Shiny Finger, so, and all of that, but I don't, what if I erased all those people? Like, we can all just come to the conclusion that she just disappeared. We gotta make sure. I don't want to consider such a frightening possibility, so I desperately shake the thought off my head. There you go, let's see. Yeah, Shiny Finger, what's wrong? I'm kinda busy now. Sorry, I'll email you later. Okay, there you go. My body goes limp from relief. Yeah, calm down, Rintaro, calm down. We haven't done like anything bad yet. We haven't made people disappear. Although, if we are gonna continue with playing God right over here with time, things might get worse and worse than this, so... A reply. She sent a reply. Maika still exists. She didn't disappear. Relief washes away my fear. My eyes fill with tears. Not because I was worried for Maika, but because I thought I might be responsible for the horror of erasing someone's existence. Yeah, again, given that time traveling is such a foreign concept IRL that it's not really that possible, as of right now. Like, what does that do to a person's mind? I mean, I guess you can equate that to, like, basically killing a person. You're basically erasing their existence, so yeah, it is technically the equivalent of murder, in which case... Ugh.
何が起きたか説明して、岡部。
And you know, it's that kind of erasure that not only kills somebody, but it erases them entirely. So nobody would even remember that person existed in the first place. Which, well, that I don't think that there's such a thing. There's such an equivalent to that in real life, thankfully. Urged by Kurisu, I explained everything that just happened.
今この場からその桐生なんとかさんが消えたのは因果率を考えれば不自然じゃない気がしてきた。
どういうことだ？
詳しい経緯はわからないけど、過去を改変したことで今回の場合は7月31日以降、今日までの4日間の桐生さんの行動が微妙に変化した。
Yeah.
その結果、今この時間には桐生さんはラボには来なかったというふうに再構成された。
So that's why it looked like she teleported. I'm reminded of the teleporting Jilbana. Jilbana? I guess that's a new name, Jilbana. But I guess it's not the same thing. Maika didn't become a jellyman after all.
そんなことありえるん?
That is true. Wait a minute. If I'm to think about the Jellyman situation, if we are to think about how, like, okay, a previous example, Rintaro goes into a different world line and replaces, like, that world line's Rintaro. So it kind of makes you question, where does that Rintaro go? Maybe that Rintaro would become a Jellyman in a completely different world line. Ugh, that would be quite a curse. Like, it kind of makes you question, where does that world's Rintaro, like if we replace that world's Rintaro, where would that Rintaro go? Like, would it replace, like, it wouldn't replace like the present Rintaro, because that present Rintaro goes just fine, like into the future, so it has to go somewhere.
なんとも言えない。D メールを送った事実も抹消されてしまうなら、その D メールは誰が送ったのかっていうパラドックスになるし。
Like that would be quite scary. That our Rintaro right here doesn't become Jellyman, but we replace other Rintaro's consciousness, and that Rintaro becomes a Jellyman, and we don't even know. That would be quite something.
それともう一つ、岡部に起きていることが消せない。
何？
リーディングシュタイナーのこと。ちなみにその造語、恥ずかしいからやめた方がいい。
お前の個人的見解は必要ない。
I'm finally able to joke with Kurisu again. Well, maybe she wasn't joking. But that's none of her business.
さっきのあんたの説明じゃ、D メールを送ったのも受け取ったのもあんたじゃなかった。なのに、あんただけが世界線が変わる前のことを覚えている。
True. What makes Rintaro so special in this case? Hell, you would think that Moeka would be the only one who is aware of this kind of change.
でもこれって、あんたのただの妄想じゃない？
Actually, if I am to think about it, it could very well be possible that Moeka right now would be aware, like suddenly think, oh shit. Okay. I remember that teleportation experiment that we did right now about changing phones, and now she's gonna realize that okay, my phone has changed, but something feels wrong. And she's gonna realize that okay, in this road line we haven't gone to Rintaro's lab yet. Like the past Moeka has not gone to Rintaro's lab yet. So right now she doesn't even know where the lab is. Well, actually now she does because she remembers the past road line. And also, well, I would say that would be the case, except that we got like an email right now from Shiny Fingers asking what's wrong. So it would be this kind of clarifies that she's not even aware of like the road line change. Only Rintaro is aware of it. So what gives?
脳内嫁ですね。わかります。
わかるな。お前のような変態紳士と一緒にされたくはない。
桐生さんって人はもともと存在しなかった。あるいは桐生なんとかさんは実在するけど、その人が D メールを送った事実は妄想だった。
Jesus. I fall to my knees and press my hand against my left thigh.
左目がこのマガンレーディングシュタイナーがうずく。
Rintaro, you really want to do this like right now?
オカリ大丈夫？
Mayuri peeks anxiously at my face, but I lightly push her aside.
ダメだ。マユリ、俺に近づくな。今の俺はお前を傷つけてしまうかもしれん。
We don't want you turning into a banana girl. Stay away! Stay away! Otherwise, we're gonna end up like in that one episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog where Courage and his family go into the future, like 1,000 years into the future, and the entirety of humanity is replaced by banana people.
でもオカリすごく苦しそうだよ。
釣りっしょ。
そうよね。
大丈夫だ。このうずきはいつものこと。すぐに収まる。この魔眼がある限り俺は機関に狙われ続ける。あらゆる世界と時間とを見通す力。しかしそれは同時に諸刃の剣でもある。俺はこのあらゆる世界とあらゆる時間を見通す魔眼のせいで人間としての因果律から外れてしまった。
The power to possibly activate the Steins Gate. I need to see what lies beyond the Steins Gate. What kind of harem am I gonna get? The struggles of being a Chunyubyo main protagonist.
だがそれでもこのラボだけは守ると誓ったのだ。だからマガンよ、静まってくれ。
I kneel and press my head against the floor. And then I take a deep breath and gradually remove my hand from my left eye. Mayuri rubs my back.
おかり苦しいの？
いや、もう大丈夫だ。
I stand up. Then I shoot Kurisu a sharp glare. Alright, are you done there, buddy? Did you let off all your steam?
何よ、今のただの演技でしょ。
クリスティーナ、お前は間違っている。すでにこれまでの実験で証明されているんだよ。俺のリーディングシュタイナーは本物だ。
はいはい、12秒12秒。
え？
ん？
なんで私に注目してんのよ。見るの禁止。
In any case, I've successfully deflected Kurisu's questions about reading Steiner. Hey, by the way, Kurisu, can you tell us the difference between a kudere and a dendere? I don't feel able to answer right now. My emotions are a jumble, but just as they were after Tyler called me the Messiah. Wait, hold on. My emotions are a jumble, just as they were after Tyler called me the Messiah. Okay. Is this power real? If it is, then what does that make me? An unknown power slips within me. The thought sends a chill down my spine. I sit on the bench in front of the brown tube workshop, staring into the night sky. I try sorting out what happened this afternoon. The more I think about it, the more confused I get. And then I hear footsteps coming down from the second floor. Soon, Mayuri and Kurisu emerge.
帰るのか？
岡部ってずっとここに泊まり込んでるの？
まあな、マッドサイエンティストたるもの、研究所に寝泊まりして研究だけに没頭するぐらいでなければ務まらない。
形から入るのって良くないと思うわけだが。
でもね、この場所ってとっても便利だよね。マユシーもお父さんお母さんが許してくれるならここに泊まりたいよ。
え？本気？
そしたらバイトに行くのもすぐだもん。ねえねえクリスちゃん、今度みんなでお泊まり会しよう。
男性陣がいないのなら OK。
それは無理だ。
だったらまゆりさん、私のホテルに来たら？
ああ、そういえばそんな約束してたもんね。じゃあ今度お邪魔するね。
いつでも言ってくれていいから。それじゃあ。
Kurisu waves goodbye and starts walking in the opposite direction from Akihabara Station. Now, going back to the topic of Moeka right over here, damn it. If the cutting point is when we didn't tell Moeka about the IBM 5100, well, now we are in a world line where she's no longer like a lab member. Well, that sucks. Maria doesn't move from that spot. Like, Rentaro, are you not gonna keep messaging Moeka about it? Like, you know, question Moeka about stuff? No? Nothing? Instead, she starts doing her usual thing. Stardust handshake. She looks up to the night sky, raising her hand as if to grasp the stars. And doing that thing again, eh? And with perfect timing, a shooting star crosses the sky.
ねえオカリ
おう。流れ星だな。願い事はしたか？
Mayuri doesn't answer. It's not that she's making a wish with the shooting star. She moves the star herself. She has that kind of power. She keeps gazing at the sky.
オカリンって小学生の頃すごい熱を出して1ヶ月ぐらい寝込んでたことがあったよね。
A month?
何を突然言い出すんだ？
It was about 10 years ago, at the turn of the century, when the world was in an uproar over the Y2K. Near the end of 1999, I had a fever of nearly 40 degrees Celsius that lasted about a month. I didn't recover until the new year. Jesus. At least, that's what I've been told. I don't remember it myself. According to my parents, I was unconscious the whole time, tossing and turning. The doctors said it was a miracle I didn't die. Because of that fever, I didn't get to experience the Millennium Countdown event. They never figured out what caused it either.
あの時ね、マユシーはオカリンが死んじゃうんじゃないかって思ってすごく怖かったんだよ。
Well, he is here.
だからね、おばあちゃんと一緒にお空に祈ってたの。オカリン死なないでって。
この俺が死ぬはずがないだろう。何しろ10年前の時点で俺はトーマス・エジソンに匹敵する IQ170 の頭脳を持つマッドサイエンティストだったのだからな。
Sure thing. Well, damn. I guess Mayuri now, whenever she looks at the star and reaches for the stars with her hands, she wishes that Rintaro would not die from his Chinubio shenanigans, from his sheer stupidity. Actually, I'm not even sure what that is on IQ was.
そうだったんだ。オカリンってすごいんだね。でもね、まだちっちゃかったマユシーはそのことがわからなかったからお空に祈ってて。でね、大晦日、もうすぐ年が明けるっていう時にね、流れ星がピューって流れたの。今みたいに。流れ星はね、消える前に3回願い事を唱えることができたら願いが叶うんだよ。知ってたかな？
Of course, that's the most common of common knowledge. Okay, and what did you wish right now?
もちろんマユシーは一生懸命3回唱えたの。
And then Mayuri finally lowers her hand and turns to me. On her face is a soft smile.
次の日、年が明けた頃にね、オカリンは熱が下がって目を覚ましたのです。つまりマユシーはオカリンの命の恩人なんだよ。
Ah, true.
いや違うな。あの状況で助かったのはシュタインズゲートの選択だ。そうなのだ。
Yeah. And then in the end, we're gonna figure out that the Steins Gate was actually Mayuri herself. She is the Steins Gate.
そっか。
Mayuri looks a little disappointed.
ねえねえ、熱が下がった時ね、オカリンはこんなことを言ってたんだけど覚えてる？急に見ているものがぐにゃぐにゃしてきて立っていられなくてフラフラして、んで体がビクってなったって。さっきのオカリンもね、そんな感じだったよ。大丈夫？また熱出して倒れたりしない？
The concern on her face is so sincere. Looks like she's worried about my reaction to Moika's disappearance. Yeah, two things. Because, for one, I did question this stuff about Rintaro grabbing his arm and Rintaro holding his eye. Like, oh, the evil eyes acting again. Does Rintaro actually have like a physical condition? Is he okay? Like, health-wise? Or is he, like, is he actually hurting in these kinds of situations and he is hiding it behind the Chinubio personality? Or he's actually, like, he's just screwing around? And second, if he's screwing around, do you feel like this is the sort of stuff that you should do, like, publicly, especially in front of Mayuri? Like, these moments where, oh, my arm! Oh, my arm! Or, oh, my eye! For Mayuri to witness such moments, especially when she cares so much about you, that she had that moment in the past where she wished upon a star, they would feel better, like after a month of being unconscious from like that high fever. Do you feel like you should be doing that sort of stuff? I mean, think about her for Pete's sake. Jeez, my ostrich is worrying about me. I find myself giving her a wry smile.
案ずるな。何も心配ない。
As I brush her worry off with a shrug, I think back to what happened 10 years ago. When I woke up from that fever, the first thing I saw was Mayuri's crying face. She's right. I vaguely remember describing my collapse that way. And come to think of it, it does seem to match with the sensation I felt a few hours ago when the reading Steiner activated.
そうか。この俺の魔眼は、まさにあの時に、この身に宿ったのだな。
So that's the choice of Steins Gate. I really was born with this power. No wonder John Tyler thinks I am the Messiah. My maniacal laughter echoes into the night. Alright. Alright, well, the next day, the lab gets an unusual guest.
お邪魔します。
Hello there, Luca. Lukako.
おお、ルカシじゃんか。
こんにちは、橋田さん。岡部さん。
ルカ子、妖刀さみだれを持ってこないとは何事だ。今日お前が来ると聞いて、俺は殿下の宝刀ミストルティンの封印を解いたというのに、お前には失望したぞ。
Nisteltine? Nisteltine? It sounds German, but not quite. Okay, well, in Norse mythology, a legendary sword born from a sprig of mistletoe. According to prophecy, this sword will slay the undying god, Baldur, thus beginning the final war of the gods, Ragnarok. Okay. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I didn't know he was coming.
すみません。今から取りに戻りますから。
いや、もういいんだ。サミダレとミストルティンの開口、またもお預けか。
I look out the window with an expression of melancholy.
つうか、ポン島と北欧神話の魔剣って釣り合わなさすぎてカオスなんだけど、そもそもオカリン、模造刀なんて持ってた？
僕、どうしたら？
I'm not, I'm actually surprised that for a Chinubio like Rintaro, he would not have like sword replicas around here, just for shits and giggles.
ルカ子よ、お前は俺の弟子でありながら、まだいまいち真剣さが足りんな。
すみま
せん。こんな調子では使い物になるまでにまだまだ時間がかかるだろう。どうだ、 なんだったら我がラボに入ってみないか？